There are three essential components of music. Melody combines different notes like C, G, D and such. Rhythm adds duration to those notes and combines notes of different lengths. And the third element is harmony, consisting of different sounds or chords that underline and accompany melodies. The most commonly used chords are triads, which involve the simultaneous sounding of three notes. In both classical and popular music, four types of triads are most frequently used. They are major, minor, diminished, and augmented. Despite their characteristics, all triads consist of three notes: the root, the third, and the fifth. Let's see how triads get their names before we introduce each one. Triads are named based on their type and root. The root note is the lowest note of a chord. If we have a major chord with C as its root note, the chord name would be C major. If we have a minor chord with F as the root note, the name of that chord would be F minor. Let's talk about the four types of triads we mentioned earlier, starting with the major triad. Major triad has its unique and recognizable sound. It has a solid, bright sound, and its name in original form means solid. A major triad consists of the root note, major third, and perfect fifth. We've already mentioned that the root note is the lowest note of a chord. Now let's see how to find the other two intervals. The major third is the fourth note from the root. If we take C as the root note, the first note is C sharp, the second is D, the third is D sharp, and the fourth note or major third is E. Now let's see how to find a perfect fifth. A perfect fifth is an interval found in both major and minor triads, and we'll now explain how to find it. There are a few ways to identify the perfect fifth. It's the seventh half note, half step from the root. If the root note is C, the first note is C sharp, the second is D, the third is D sharp, the fourth is E, the fifth is F, the sixth is F sharp, and the seventh note is G. So the perfect fifth we were looking for would be note G. However, there's another way to find the perfect fifth, but we'll discuss that in another video. I'll leave you a link for it. Now that we have found all the notes, we can say that the notes of our major chord with C as the root are C, E, and G. The name of that chord is C major triad. With all this information about the major triad, we can build a major triad from any given note. Okay, now it's time to talk about the minor chord. A minor chord has a more subtle, gentle, softer, yet darker sound. It consists of the root note, minor third, and perfect fifth. We've covered everything you need to know about the root and the perfect fifth, but we need to clarify how to find a minor third, even though you could figure it out on your own. We said that a major third is the fourth note, fourth key from the root. Since a minor third is smaller, it's a third note or third key from the root. If we take C as the root note, the first note from C would be C sharp, the second would be D, and the third would be D sharp or E flat in this case, meaning that the minor third from C C note would be E flat. Notes of minor chord that starts with C note are C, E flat and G natural, and the name of the chord is C minor triad. Now we know how to create major and minor chords from any given note on the keyboard. Major and minor chords have different sounds, and with a little practice it becomes easy to recognize each type when someone plays a random set of these chords. Despite their obvious differences, these chords share something in common. Both major and minor triads are consonant, meaning they sound pleasant and they don't have a tendency to resolve, and a piece or musical phrase can end on either a major or minor chord. Let's move on to the next two types of triads. First, we will talk about the diminished chord. This type of chord sounds very unstable and has a strong tendency to move and to resolve to a major or minor chord. Diminished chord consists of the root note, minor third, which we explained when we talked about the minor chord, and diminished fifth. We can find a diminished fifth in two ways. The first would be to count half steps, and the diminished fifth would be the sixth key from the root note. If we take C note as the root and count 6 notes, we would have G flat as diminished fifth. But there's also another way, and for that you can watch the video I mentioned. And our diminished triad from C note would have the following notes: C, E flat and G flat, and its name would be C diminished triad. The last type of triad we'll discuss is the augmented triad. It is also unstable, seeking resolution to a consonant chord. The difference between diminished and augmented chord is that the augmented chord sounds, well, somehow larger, I would say. An augmented chord consists of the root note, let's take C as the root, a major triad, which we know is E from the C note, and an augmented fifth. There are two ways to find this interval. We can count the half steps from the root, and an augmented fifth is the 8th note from the root. Alternatively, we can find the augmented fifth by raising the perfect fifth by a half step. Either way, we arrive at the same note, which is, in this case, C sharp. So our augmented chord starting from C consists of C, E and G flat, and its name is the C augmented triad. Just as major and minor triad are consonant, diminished and augmented triads are dissonant. They sound unstable and have a strong tendency to resolve to consonant chord. And that's it. You've grasped the basics of triads, and with a little practice you should be able to build any type of triad from any given note. I hope this video was helpful, and if you think so, please like and subscribe. See you soon.